Thanks for sending us your questions. Here are your answers.
Pastor Rob wanted to know why we became missionaries and why we serve in the particular fields that we do.
I think many of you know that I grew up as a missionary kid, and from the time I was very young, I had a life of service modeled for me and modeled in a way that made it seem like something that I wanted for me for when I was an adult and for my family. And so going into ministry is something that I have always wanted to do. Also, I specifically had modeled for me medical ministry, and so that's why I chose to become a nurse. And I'm very thankful for that career path that I've had because it has allowed me to serve in many different ways in Nicaragua. I've never really had a great plan for how I was going to serve, but so many opportunities have presented themselves to me, and I feel that God has prepared me in many ways for the places that He's put me to serve.
I've known I've wanted to be a teacher from a very young age. I come from 3 generations at least of educators, and so I knew education was my calling and my passion, and it was modeled for me by my family. I was just excited to be able to use the gift of this vocation in a new place, and so when Nicaragua, those doors opened, it's just been very affirming to be here as a teacher and see that as my vocation. One of you asked what is the most difficult part of ministry. For me, honestly, it's time. It's only 7:30 and I've already been running around for an hour at school trying to connect with lots and lots of different students, and it's just hard to be everywhere that I want to be at once. I wish there were 2 or 3 or 4 of me sometimes, and so that is one of the biggest challenges in ministry right now. So yeah, pray for patience and perseverance for sure in ministry.
For me, one of the biggest challenges in ministry is still the language barrier. We are very functional in Spanish, all of us, but still when I want to fully express myself, it's a struggle.
Robert Klein asks how the believers in Nicaragua have stood out during this time of the pandemic.
We are really very impressed with how Nicaragua as a whole has handled the pandemic. It hasn't been easy. At the beginning, many people got sick, many people died. I think it's been a little less hard hit than many places in the U.S., but we've been very impressed, especially in our church, with the unity that it's approached with. There's not a lot of drama, it's not politicized, and people are just excited to help each other out and be a support to one another.
Ruth Klein wanted to know what mealtime was like at the Ipple household. We are actually sitting at a real Ipple family dinner right now. I'm going to show you around a little bit. We got May here, Ariel, who eats dinners with us on Monday nights, Henry. We have Ruth. Here's Charlotte. Over here you can see our whiteboard that helps us keep track of our meals and all the other activities we have going on for the week. And just a little more shot of our eating area. We eat together most every night, which is wonderful, and we typically end with some family devotions. And breakfasts we more eat on our own. Lunches we eat at school. And so this time as a family is very important to us. Good question, Ruth.
Robert Klein asked us to share 2 specific examples of how God has sustained us during this time of pandemic.
For me, one huge way that God has sustained us is by giving us our community of friends that we have here. We have had weekly meals with a small group of our friends and have been able to do many things, and they keep us sane and understand completely what it is that we're going through. And we're very thankful for them.
And for me, I would say one blessing from the Lord was the gift of time. We're very busy typically, and we tend to fill up our lives and our schedules. And so, especially when the pandemic first hit, a lot actually came off of our plate. And I feel like we were kind of given the gift of respite and rest, and time as a family, and time to just to be, which we don't often have.
Amira, our cousin, my niece, wanted to know if we get purified water, and actually we do. We have a water dispenser, and we We typically buy water from not the water store, but from the grocery store. Henry's really good at putting the water on without spilling anything, huh, Henry? Way to go. Paul Brink asked for us to share some of the changes in general that we've seen in Nicaragua since being here. Changes for the better, things that are moving maybe in the right direction, the direction towards shalom. One area that I see a lot of positive change is just in the area of inclusion. I see a hunger in the local schools and in the local churches to figure out how to better include people with disabilities. This is really exciting to see firsthand in my work at NCA, in the SOAR program, but also in the outreach program at Tesoros de Dios. Tesoros de Dios, when I first started on the board, their outreach program was very small, and I believe they've tripled in size in terms of their staff investment, and now they are working in multiple cities across Nicaragua, working with schools and churches that are hungry to figure out how to better include people with disabilities, and it's exciting to see.
Thanks for your support.